Oh my God, you guys come in, sit down and shut the door. Diddy is giving us Christmas in July. He has given us what we always wanted. Adam Diddy is literally trying to pull on those heartstrings of Judge Aaron, and he doesn't know. We are literally saying, finally, we've given everything we wanted to give. Listen to what Diddy's newest thing is. I don't know what's wrong with this man. This man is spinning out of control. He is this in. His people are begging Trump for a pardon, talking trash in the streets, suing lawyers, threatening to be on Madison Square Garden. And didn't I tell you he was in that cell with those rats and roaches just sitting there not knowing what to do? I'm just joking. He Hannibal Lecter, he making those rats and roaches do freak offs. And Diddy is the type of person I think he's doing interspecies freak offs with those rat and roaches. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But listen to this, right? Do you know that Diddy actually released
Present,
a thing
and
saying
no longer has a voice
Sean
who will
Diddy
pursue
Thomas
justice
is
for her
traumatized and living in
accusation.
fear behind bars?
As of the
He's a
taken
broken
against Diddy,
wreck.
no
I said, "You ain't
expansion
got
of
to
the
threaten me with a lung
investigation,
with a good
no
time. Please
isolation
tell me
orders,
more."
no
Now,
equipment
how is he
access,
all this behind
no
jail when
suspension
he
of
got
attorney
off and all his
communication.
minions that were like Lord of the Flies? Like, yeah, we could beat women without abandoning and hire hookers, and nobody had to know that we're on the DL but violent about it. I mean, I don't know if they were saying all that, but that's the way they were acting to me, right? By the way, one of his biggest supporters apparently are in jail now for DV. Look at God's glory. Anyway, right? God is fair. So listen. Okay. So did doing all that, but remember Mark Aurelio said that he was like a celebrity in prison? Remember Mark Aurelio said that he went back to the MDC after being acquitted of the top three and got a standing ovation. But then in the letter to Judge Aaron, when he was begging to get out of jail, he was saying that something had happened and he felt in danger and it was so bad that he actually redacted it. Let me tell you one thing. I don't want to hear anybody on Diddy's team talking about us get koi snitch this and that they snitch when Diddy is literally on legal documents snitching on everybody, but it ain't working because baby, we do not care. And if Diddy is worried about violence being inflicted on him in the MDC, well, I would just say don't sleep with them, because if you sleep with them, nobody's going to take it seriously, because if you sleep with them under your own lawyers, it's a modern day love story. Right. So listen, they said rap mogul Sean Diddy Coleman's life behind bars has been tortured and he lives in constant fear of being attacked or murked. This is according to the National Enquirer. Now it is a National Enquirer. However, I have been hearing this in the streets. Do I believe it's true? I believe what Warren Comey said. You like to use your hands and feet and get gully when there's women around. When there's men's, you like to pull out those hammers, but you don't have those hammers. You're probably in season 1 of Oz. And baby, you ain't at a BA. Okay, but let's move on. They said the swagger's gone. He's a broken rap, reports a source. He's been climbing the wall since the day he was thrown in jail, and it's worn him down to the point where he's a shadow of himself. He has panic attacks and has never had a single good night's sleep because he lives in fear. Now let me stop everybody right there because I find this very hilarious. But I saw Diddy in court. If you guys don't know, I did amazing in my own opinion court coverage, and Diddy looked like he was really eating those oodles and noodles. That man did was not whittled away to nothing. As much as he got mad at the court sketch artist, that was the best we've ever seen you look in the last 5 years because you were Tucci free. Honestly, you've been sleeping because you don't got as else to do besides harass those rats and roaches in your shell. And on top of that, you finally clean because according to Diddy's people, he been on that pink stuff, blue stuff, purple, just he been on that rainbow stuff for the last 15 years, right? 10, 15, whatever they said. So you go through all that and you still look like you still got some weight on you. You still got some girth. Shut up, Diddy. Him been eating Kit Kats and noodles. Probably the creamy chicken flavor from the commissary. Diddy, shut up. Anyway, listen, he walked into this prison thinking he'd be a cult figure, but people treat him with contempt. Now, I've heard that the reason people are treating him with contempt, if they're treating him with contempt, is because he literally walked in the prison and thought he was going to be on some Nino Brownish run. But the thing is, how many oodles and noodles can you put on somebody's commentary? You don't got emotion like that. At least not that listen. At least not the way he thinks. A source says Diddy is convinced the guards are out to get him and says he's getting all kinds of intimidating side looks from other inmates. So let me get this. Hold on. Let me keep reading. Okay. He's barely eating. That's a lie. Because we saw that pop gut baby you eating good oodles and noodles. He's barely eating because he says he's being served maggot-infested food and treated worse than a rat. If you don't tell baby love to try her cute little self out there and start eliminate stand and start sending you those
Present,
funds. Are
and
you
no
insane,
longer has a
Diddy?
voice who
We
will
all know that
pursue
you leading out
justice
the
for her
commentary.
accusation.
We saw the girth. We saw
As
the
of
way
the
you looked
taken
in
against
court.
Diddy,
Stop.
no
Now you
expansion
talking
of the
about that's the only
investigation,
thing.
no
Shut up.
isolation orders,
Shut up.
no
We've all
equipment
seen prison
access,
TikTok.
no
Make
suspension of
something that.
attorney
Anyway,
communication.
right? But let's go back to this, right? He thinks the guards are out to get him and says he's getting all kinds of intimidating sighs from the inmate. So another thing I think is funny about this whole article, besides this just being a whole article, if you believe these sources, he's getting all types of intimidating sidey looks from other inmates. So nobody's touched you, you haven't had any instances of violence, but you getting side-eye looks is enough for you to write the judge. You getting side-eye looks and even a threat of violence is enough for you to be like, no, I need to stay safe. And you want to get out of there and you think that's a reason, but you spent over a decade terrorizing every single woman. Well, every single woman we heard in court that opened their legs for you willingly or not. But now all of a sudden, when it comes to your safety, we supposed to care. Now get this, maggot-infested foods. Listen, they said Diddy is pinning all his hopes on getting a pardon from President Trump. I don't think Trump's gonna pardon Diddy. And hear me out, even if Trump and Diddy were close enough for Diddy to get pardoned, I don't think Trump's people would let him pardon Diddy now. Why, they're just saying Maxwell. And this is a big whatever because I don't even think that Diddy and Trump are actually close enough for him to get pardoned. Trump holds a grudge. And Diddy literally went out of his way. Thought Trump was a joke. Got in bed with like Ron Burkle and the Democratic, um, uh, uh, not the DNC, but Ron Burkle and those things with the vote or die, a different base. And he threw Trump under the bus. So I don't even know what he is talking about. Oh, you guys, there's more. I'm looking for little juicy tidbits of how he cries himself to drink. They said they used to be friends back in the day with Trump calling the hip hop honcho a good friend in 2012. But in 2020, in the 2020 election, Diddy had changed his tune and said Trump should be banished. But even if the president pardons him, it may be too late. They said Diddy thinks it might be too late, saying have him being so traumatized behind bars, he'll never be the same person again. I mean, isn't that a good thing? Because when you are literally Satan's son, not like a demon or a disciple, but the son, you got that DNA, you are literally under your father's arms, and your father sent you up to heaven because you was looking around trying to take over there. He walked into Hades and was like, what in the what? What girl? Look, put your leg down. Anyway, Lissie said he wants a pardon, but he should be careful what he wishes for because it will be hell outside as well. Who points out that even if he gets one, Diddy still faces numerous civil lawsuits bought by the alleged victims. Y'all listen, are y'all buying this? Do y'all feel bad for Diddy? I don't. I think he's getting what he deserves. And better he be living in trauma than literally getting a ish stomped out of him like he did for every other woman we saw at trial. Anyway, baby, God is fear and we are looking forward to Judge Aaron's sentence. May God's justice flow through Judge Aaron and settle onto Diddy's hopes and dreams of getting out. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to you all later. Bye.